Chief Burke. We can. These guys.
I was saying it's always public safety. They never want to be the ones to sit down. They want eyes on everything.
Don't want their.
I have to instruct them to come take a seat already.
It's on already, so don't. You can turn it off. We do have chairs for everybody. I know, nobody likes their back to, that's just public safety folks. Well, tonight we are here to honor Chief Burke as he is sworn in as our fire chief. And so let me just share a little background. Chief Burke joined the City of Westminster Fire Department in 2002 and has served as acting fire chief since April of 2024. Prior to this role, he served as Deputy Chief of Operations for 5 years, directing emergency operations. From 2015 to 2019, he served as Emergency Medical Services Chief, overseeing advanced life support services. Over his career, he has also served as Professional Battalion Chief, Captain, Lieutenant, Paramedic, and Firefighter. Is that all the things you could do?
Yeah, at the time, yes.
Almost. Chief Burke has extensive experience with the Westminster Fire Department, and his connection and commitment to Westminster is deep. There is no one better prepared to lead the department to the future, and I have the utmost confidence in his ability to do so. A collaborative leader, Chief Burke has cultivated strong partnerships with regional agencies, Local 2889, and the community. He has demonstrated a consistent ability to innovate and think strategically, making him an excellent choice for this role. So we're proud to have you. We came sort of at the same time with my first mayor role. I came in at 2001 as an elected councilor, and you came in shortly after in 2002. So we've grown up together. I would ask, let's see what's next on our agenda here. City Clerk Abby Fitch will swear you in.
Okay. Can I have you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Eric Burke,
I, Eric Burke,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the constitutions of the United States
the constitutions of the United States
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the ordinances and city charter
and the ordinances and city charter
of the city of Westminster
of the city of Westminster
and faithfully perform the duties
and faithfully perform the duties
of fire chief
of fire chief
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everything's all legal and legit. Then we would love for your family to come forward. Even mom and dad.
I'm going to
Come
call
on.
everybody up. Amanda, Lee, Kathy, Chris, Emery, Jalen, Habib.
You can introduce everybody.
All right, to my left is my wife, Eileen, my son, Gage, my sister-in-law, Amanda, my sister, Kristen, my nephew, Emery, nephew, Jalen, brother-in-law, Habib. On my right here is my son, Logan, my mother, Kathy, and my father, Lee.
Eileen, here is the badge for you to pin on him without hurting him. He's not screaming yet. Excuse me. Sorry. It's okay. I get the privilege of putting the bugles on without stabbing myself. And it's your turn to have the mic.
Okay.
Oh, you've already got one.
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I would like to do is thank City Council, City Manager Jody Andrews, Deputy Manager Barbara Opie, and Deputy City Manager Larry Dorr for this opportunity. I am grateful and I'm honored to serve as your fire chief. I'd also like to take a moment to thank my family. I would not be here today without your love and support. There are many people here in the room that have mentored me over the years, and I want to thank you for your guidance and help shaping my career. To the Westminster Fire Department, thank you for your support over the last 7 months while I served as acting fire chief. I can assure you that I'm committed to doing everything in my power to making the Westminster Fire Department the best that it can be, and I'm excited to work alongside you. For the community, I am committed to making Westminster a safe community and helping the Westminster Fire Department continue to have positive impacts in the community. Thank you.
Okay, you take the family pictures that you need to take. You just direct them. And council, if you'd come over here behind city clerk, then we'll take pictures as soon as they're done. And we actually have 5 minutes before we start the meeting, so you can keep chatting. Welcome to tonight's meeting of November 25th, 2024. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Counselor Carmelia.
Present.
Counselor Demott.
Present.
Counselor Azadi.
Here.
Counselor Hott.
Present.
Mayor McNally.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Here.
And Counselor Ireland.
Here.
Do I have a motion for Councillor Ireland to be Councillor Azadi?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to allow Council Ireland to participate remotely in tonight's meetings and in the City Council executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to allow Councillor Ireland to be remote for this meeting and for the executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to minutes of November 18th. Councillor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes of the November 18th, 2024 City Council meeting as presented.
Councillor Carmelia?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of November 18th. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Mine not showing. Oh, everything's off at the moment. Yeah, you're there. So all those in favor of to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to Mayor Pro Tem proclaiming Small Business Saturday.
All right, do I have somebody that will join me up here? Welcome. And I'll have you both introduce yourselves and your business.
My name is Chelsea Elder. I'm the Executive Director of Adaptive Ventures. We're a nonprofit organization based out of Westminster on Harlan Street, providing outdoor sports for people with physical disabilities and their families.
I'm Jessica Rutherford, and I'm the Development Manager at Adaptive Adventures.
We are very happy to have you in Westminster, and I know that the rest of council and I know staff is very passionate about all of the businesses that invest in our community. And so with that, I will go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas the City of Westminster, Colorado celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. And whereas, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 33.1 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of all businesses with employees in the United States, are responsible for 62.7% of net new jobs created over the past 28 years, and whereas small businesses employ 46.4% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. And whereas nearly 94% of Westminster's businesses are small businesses who create jobs and spur economic growth. And whereas, on average, 33% of consumers' holiday shopping will be done at small, independently owned retailers and restaurants. And whereas 91% of all consumers believe that supporting small, independently owned restaurants and bars is important. And whereas 76% of all consumers plan to go to one or more small businesses as part of their holiday shopping. And whereas Westminster, Colorado supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas advocacy groups as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, Nancy McNally, Mayor of Westminster, Colorado, do hereby proclaim November 30th, 2024 as Small Business Saturday and urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year.
you. Congratulations,
Welcome to the Westminster City Council meeting of November 25th, 2024. Thank you for joining us. We thank you for coming and would like to remind all in attendance that our meetings are subject to the rules of decorum that are posted inside the chamber doors. These rules are in effect while all meetings are in session, as well as during breaks and transitions between meetings. We want to be sure all feel welcome and remind all there is an expectation that no attendee shall disrupt this meeting and that threats and intimidation are prohibited. No attendee shall engage in audible expressions of support or opposition for any speaker. Signs and placards are prohibited, and all attendees shall remain seated in the seats provided, not in the aisles, nor shall the doorways be blocked. If you are here to speak during public comment, please sign up in the lobby. Sign up closes at 7:15. The public comment is a portion of the meeting where is opportunity for the public to communicate with City Council. Each participant will be given no more than 3 minutes on any topic they choose. The public comment is not intended to be a back and forth discussion. If there's a public hearing scheduled for the item on which you wish to speak, please hold your comments and testify when the public hearing is called. Tonight, there are no public hearings. This evening, the city clerk has informed me that we received 1 email, 0 voicemails by the deadline, and they have been transcribed and posted on the online packet agenda forwarded directly to the City Council. City Clerk, would you please call our first live speaker?
The first speaker is Alan Farb.
Welcome.
So 4.5 years ago, about the time Westminster employed its first homeless navigator, I began my weekly volunteer street outreach. Besides the city's new navigator, I connected with the pastor and food bank volunteers at Westminster Presbyterian Church in South Historic Westminster, who were able to provide me with food to distribute. At that time, I encountered about 35 to 38 unhoused women and men. I still see many of those folks. When that first navigator left the city and until the next navigator came on board, and even well thereafter, the city provided me with coats, socks, underwear, tents, sleeping bags, and health and hygiene items. The city stopped providing me such items more than a year ago. Today, the number of women and men I encounter on just the 1 day a week I do outreach has doubled. Even with our unhoused neighbors being abated and sometimes difficult for me to locate, I still encounter 65 to 74 unhoused women and men each day of outreach. I've known more than 150 people. Fortunately, through Westminster Presbyterian Church's volunteers and Westminster Community Foundation, and a neighbor who assembles 50 lunch bags with fresh fruits and vegetables, and another outreach volunteer whose church provided several $100s for my outreach efforts, we've been able to provide some items: food, sleeping bags and blankets, socks, sometimes a tarp for shelter, body care, and feminine hygiene products. And just a few weeks ago, an awarded grant from the Community Foundation will now help me to help the growing number of unhoused around our city and to have some needed items to help them get through the winter. Moreover, after learning about our volunteer outreach efforts, the Westminster Elks boldly and compassionately stepped forward to provide, through 2 Westminster laundromats, the ability for our homeless and borderline housed neighbors to wash their clothes each month for free for at least the next 6 months. And I certainly must gratefully acknowledge that this council, above all previous councils, has humanely and sensibly acted on behalf of our unhoused residents. For this year and next, you are providing for more motel stays for more people during severe weather conditions. And you've increased the threshold for those motel stays from an extreme of 0 degrees to 32 degrees. Plus, this council approved the hiring of 2 additional homeless navigators so that by 2025, we will have 4 professionals ready to more rapidly, more humanely, and cost-effectively assist our unhoused residents. and further reduce the number of vulnerable women and men and families facing homelessness. So on behalf of all of us in Westminster, I wholeheartedly thank you all for your thoughtful, compassionate, and forward-thinking actions.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Beth McBride. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak to you all. It seems like it's Good News Monday, as I told Patty right outside. I said, all day long I've been telling, whether it's at the library where I was today, the Guardians raised food for animals, and we were working with Fish and Foothills. We also raised a number of leashes and collars for the animal control, and we made so many that they had to give me some back that I can distribute to other facilities. And we got a dire need for blankets at Foothills, and I can't tell you the number. I don't even know how many blankets we got to them, but it was really very, very heartwarming. And I didn't bring any pictures tonight, I usually do, but the Westminster Hills Open Space Off-Leash Dog Park Facebook page has tons, almost 100 pictures. But my favorite thing is that we raised 2,925 pounds of pet food, and that does not include treats. People were very generous. And a lot of people actually did the QR codes to either Fish or the Foothills. So we couldn't take any money or anything, but we had the QR codes. And finally, we delivered the goods to the places. And I have to say, if you've not done it, I know any of you that raise food and provide things, just like this gentleman just said, there's nothing like it. We went down to see Melissa Dukes at Fish. I was with that group. Another group went to Foothills. And Melissa said, well, is that all you have? And we were bringing some food in, and we said, no, we kept bringing crates. And she said, I don't have any more room. And it was just the most wonderful feeling. And we all got very quiet because we were having trouble not crying. But anyway, I was so amazed by the generosity of the community, whether it's the dog parks. We had a week to plan, and this is what the product was. So I want to thank you for letting me talk to you all, and we get the word out. And it's been a real honor to be able to give that way. So thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Jim Fenimore. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, staff, Jody. Just want to bring up a couple things. We were talking about trying to get the railroad right-of-way cleaned up between Federal and Sheridan. They're still dragging their feet, but we're going to get that taken care of. One problem down that is starting to get quite big problem is graffiti. They're down there tagging the fences, tagging the buildings. They went down to our great park and the overpass going to the light rail. They graffitied the stone wall down there. So I don't know, they're having a field day, so I don't know what we can do about going on to especially railroad property and taking care of graffiti that is on private fences. Hopefully we can do something about that. And then on a positive note, I did bring it to council here a couple weeks back that I spoke with Highland Hills about their Frisbee golf, because they're redoing that in Cavendish Park, which is 143 acres. I did talk to Highland Hills at their board meeting, and they said that they had been in touch with the city, and they're looking forward to working with you guys to try to help redevelop that Cavendish Park. It's going to be an 18-hole Frisbee golf, so hopefully that would help the community, and I know you guys are really believing strong in trying to get something like that going, so kind of sounds like we've got the ball rolling on that for the community. And that's what I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Mayerly Torregrosa. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm here for good news as well. I want to take the opportunity to thank the City Council for making the right decision this summer on keeping the Westminster Hills open space off-leash dog park. It was intense, but so worth it. The Westmead Guardians are doing an amazing job and keeping their promises of caring for the dog park, and I'm proud to have joined them as a volunteer. Activities like the trash pickup and last Saturday, the Paws Giving Day, where our park goers showed up with an amazing response with food and other items that she had mentioned before, donated to the Foothills Animal Shelter and the food bank of the Rockies. It really made my heart feel so happy because I am a pet groomer and a veterinary technician, and that's my calling, and I'm so proud to volunteer with them, and I hope the City Council continues supporting them, and the best is yet to come. And I hope we can work with you guys to make this park even better than what it is right now. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
The next speaker is John Palmer. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, mic check, check, check. Hello? No? Hello? 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 No? Going old school.
Hello.
Do we get to do a mic drop when I'm done?
Please don't.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Councillor Zadi and Councillor Ireland for their comments last week regarding the seating in the room. And I'd like to thank City Manager Andrews for addressing those concerns. It's very nice to see. Thank you. Hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. Short and sweet this evening.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Tom Lampo. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Or do I have to pick it up?
Probably better pick it up. The people listening on YouTube can't hear.
Okay. Hello, I'm Tom Lampo. It's good to be back in front of Westminster. I'm here again to lift up the people of Westminster in prayer. We really are in incredible times with a great amount of change in front of us. What will never change is God seeking our hearts. There's nothing greater than His desire for your heart. Everything He puts into action is to secure that prized decision. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we come before you and ask that you forgive us of our shortcomings. You are welcome here. Please join us and walk beside us. You are the God of Westminster. Jesus, you are the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Almighty God. There is no one greater than you, and no event that you do not see. Your love for us is beyond measure. Uncertainty is all around us, but in Proverbs 16:33, your word states, "The lot is cast into the lap, but its very decision is from the Lord." You have an agenda that we don't understand. Many in our community are still feeling that you have been absent, and if these are your decisions, they don't make sense to us. and they aren't how we see our community. Our ideal society and what we are living through are in conflict, but it's not you who needs to change. It's not you that needs to reconsider any decisions. In Isaiah 55, 8-9, it states, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." We need to trust in your thoughts and your ways, but we don't know them, and we don't know how to lift our thoughts and our ways up to your standards. Work with our shortcomings. Open our eyes and let us see your plans for our community. We're lost and we need your guidance. We're unsettled and we need peace. Don't be far from us. Work with us. The opening we give you might be very small. Our faith and trust isn't where it should be, but work with us because what we are experiencing right now is far from what we expected. You are our God and we are your people. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Thank you guys and have a nice night.
Thank you.
That's the last speaker.
That brings us to City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll just get that presentation up in just a moment. I do have a brief report this evening. First, I would like to thank all of our speakers who took the time to speak at public comment period. We greatly appreciate your feedback and your ongoing involvement. Next slide, please. Tonight's agenda, we have a few things we've accomplished. The first one, which is Proclamation for Small Business Saturday, and I'd like to thank all of our small businesses in Westminster for how much they contribute to our city, and they really are the engine behind our local economy. So one more shout out for our small businesses and all they do for us. We have one information-only item on the agenda in the packet, and that is the annual consolidated evaluation report for the Community Development Block Grant Program. We have on consent agenda 14 items. That includes one second reading, and I would note that item G has been removed from consent by Councillor Ireland, and we'll discuss that separately this evening. For items of new business, we have two. The first one is continued from the last meeting. This is the first reading for supplemental appropriation of funds for the North Huron Urban Redevelopment Area, and that's the West 142nd Avenue and Orchard Parkway traffic signal, North Huron Urban Renewal Area asphalt and concrete, traffic signal equipment and UPS updates, and signal corrosion control projects. And I would note that that intersection location is correct. It is a new traffic signal at 142nd Avenue and Orchard Parkway. We also have on first reading amending Title 14 of the Westminster Municipal Code regarding the Employee Defined Contribution Plan. Later tonight at our WIDA meeting, we have one item, and that was also continued from last meeting, and that is a public hearing for the supplemental appropriation to the 2024 WIDA budget to reimburse costs to the General Capital Improvement Fund associated with the improvements in the North Huron Urban Renewal Area. So that's in parallel to the City Council reading on the projects I just outlined. We have one executive session item tonight in post-meeting, and that is to consult with the City Attorney on legal issues involving the deed for the Woman Creek parcel. Next slide. This is an important update. This is time to name our city snowplows, and there is a picture of one of last year's winners, Cleopatra. Also, one of last year's winners was Control Salt Delete. So these are names for our snowplows that come from our community. So I do encourage anybody that would like to make a creative suggestion. I know we've already got at least one in on this one. Please get your suggestions in to name the city snowplows, and community voting on the top names begins Wednesday, December 4th. So short timeline. So if you have cool names you'd like to suggest, you will see them very busy all winter long. And if you get to see your name on a snowplow, that's pretty cool. You can submit your best snowplow name at www.surveymonkey.com/r/Westy Snowplow 2024. Next slide, please. This week is a short week because of Thanksgiving, Tuesday, November 26th. So tomorrow night's Planning Commission meeting is canceled. So no Planning Commission tomorrow night. And this Thursday and Friday, November 28th and 29th, the city administrative offices are closed. So City Hall and our administrative functions will be closed for Thanksgiving, Thursday and Friday. Next slide, please. At our next meeting here, that is a City Council study session on Monday, December 2nd. That will start at 6:30 p.m. In the boardroom beside this room. We'll have two presentations. One is a library master plan update led by Acting Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Director Eric Otzelberger and his library team. Also will be a potential impacts of a community CAT program presentation that will be led by our Police Chief Norm Hobart. For information only, we have an update on the Broncos grant funds, and we also have that night scheduled a WIDA executive session, and that will be to obtain direction from the WIDA board regarding a proposed senior affordable housing development agreement and to discuss the possible sale of WIDA-owned property located on a portion of Block C6 in downtown Westminster to Volker Development and to seek instruction for our city negotiators regarding that project. Next slide, please. You can contact me directly by phoning me at 303-658-2003 or by email jandrews@westminsterco.gov and follow the city on any one of our 4 social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, and Nextdoor. That's all I have, Mayor.
Any questions? If not, that brings us to City Council comments. Councillor Ireland, since you aren't sitting with me and I don't want to forget you, I'll let you go first.
All right, thank you, Mary. I just wanted to say how proud I am of the Guardians, as usual, for their supportive and gathering things for animals. And also, I want to thank Councilor Carmelia for coming out and helping me with a dinner for the community down at the Presbyterian Church this last week. I had many volunteers from my Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but also Councilor Carmelia was great in visiting with the people. We had double the turnout, the highest turnout we've ever had at a dinner. We normally get about 35. We had about 70. So the need is great. It was a great turnout, and the people seemed to appreciate it. I also met with Eric Alsenberger at City Park about the disc golf and hoping to, with my colleagues, to be able to put it back there. And I know that some of them went on Saturday to see it, so hopefully we can figure out a way to put it back. And also, I don't know if I should mention right now, but if I can, I'll mention why I took off. Item G, I was reading through the material and I did not see what we were paying per gallon for that fuel that we're purchasing. And my numbers say that we're paying over $5 a gallon. And with fuel continuing to go down, I don't know when we got the bids for that, if it's been a while or if it was recent. But I'd just like to know if we can go back and get a little better deal. I know that we have had 2 bids. I don't know why we chose the one we did. I like to see 3 bids when I bid out things. So I just want to know why we went with what we did and if it really was over $5 a gallon for fuel. And that's all I have to say. And hopefully my questions can be answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Azadi?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Guardians, for the pause giving Saturday. Was awesome. And let's continue the Good News Monday. I have some numbers for you guys. So you all know that I've been organizing a food drive. I started last year. This is the 2nd year we're doing it. We worked with a few more partners this time, and we're giving to 2 organizations. One is Fish of Westminster, and the other is Growing Home. The goal was to have enough food to feed 1,000 people. And as of 12 p.m. this morning, so Growing Home came, picked food from my garage. It was on my garage, by the way. But a huge order came from Frontline at the same time. And we calculated the total pounds donated was 7,612 pounds. And that is just a testament, not to me, not to the organizers, but to Westminster, because this is for Westminster. And that's enough food. So the best practice is to use 1.2 pounds conversion rate. So that's 1.2 is enough to feed one person. This is going to feed 6,343 people. That's a significant achievement, and I want to encourage anyone listening, anyone watching, that if you are in your neighborhood, if you're in your community, you can do something. If you can do something, organize your neighbors, organize your friends, family. People are in need. Food security is one of the biggest issues right now, as we've been talking about. You saw the dog food need, right? So imagine how much humans need, and they need right now. So if you can, please donate. So that's part one. Part two, for Fish of Westminster, we raised money. Our goal was to raise $1,000 to fund their lunch that they have for Thanksgiving. That's this Thursday at 11 a.m. at the Westminster Church, Presbyterian Church. We raised $2,100. That's enough food so this is a multi-faith organized Thanksgiving lunch for about 120 people. It involves LDS, the church, the Jewish community. A lot of various groups are helping with that lunch. So what we've raised is not just enough to fund that lunch, but it's enough to feed about a week and a half more of people. And speaking with Melissa Dukes at Fish of Westminster, they usually see a few hundred people. In October, they saw 1,000 clients come through. So the demand is increasing dramatically. And around this time of year, as things get cold, as grocery prices continue to skyrocket and people are just suffering economically, whatever we can do, let's try and do it. So just wanted to give thanks to Westminster for all of you who donated. We're going to do it again next year, and it's going to be bigger. We're going to try and double what we did this year. So thank you.
Councilor or Mayor Pro Tem?
I just also want to thank Councilor Azadi for taking leadership in this and working to coalesce so many people to create some opportunity for people in our community, and that's really impressive. So, and I just want to thank our Westminster community for participating in that, for working together with Westy Dog Park Guardians, and even Mr. Farb, the work that you do on a weekly basis with so many of our community members. And so I am very grateful that we have a community that loves each other and loves our community and loves our city. I did just want to point out, I did give the council, my fellow councilors, an update on this with the recent Denver Regional Council of Governments meeting where Dr. COG, that's the acronym, they presented a grant that has come into Ride Alliance, which is going to be working on a trip exchange for residents, especially the older community, to be able to access rides beyond some of the smaller geographies that many of these ride services have. And so they can, if you're, let's say, a resident in Westminster, you can actually call this trip exchange or access this trip exchange, and they can help you find, if you have services that you need in Aurora, they can help you find a connection over there through this. And I think this is going to be essential for not only Westminster residents, but obviously for the whole Denver region. And hopefully it'll continue to, it's a pilot program that's funded right now, but they're hoping to find additional funding and expand it. And that's really key for so many of our residents who don't have access to not only medical services, but also just to getting to the store. So more, I will definitely report back on that as it evolves, but I'm looking forward to seeing something like that just go beyond just via transit or something, just one service for Westminster residents. So anyway, that's about it. Thank you.
Councilor Carmelia.
Thank you. I wanted to share that I had an excellent evening, as Councilor Ireland mentioned, volunteering with the Presbyterian Church. And so a big thank you, Councilor Ireland, for extending that invitation to everyone on council. The compassion the volunteers at that church have for their support of our seniors and the unhoused seems really unmatched. They've been working for years, and as was mentioned, this event doubled in size, so that was really impressive. And along that same lines, thank you, Councilor Azadi, for your work in donating that amount of food to our unhoused community. My apologies, my brother is calling me. Got to turn that off. And then I wanted to mention I had a great time at the second annual Highland Hills Winter Festival. That was an excellent event, and I look forward to more to come in the future with that and with our partners at the Chamber. As a few other councilors mentioned, I did do the walking tour of the disc golf course, looking for solutions as to how we can get that back in motion, and I'm feeling pretty positive that with the engagement, it looks like next steps are to engage the disc golf community as to their thoughts around how we pursue our next steps, but it looks like we're headed in the right direction. And so I just want to say thank you to the residents that have continued to push us to make sure that we get that completed, and that we, make good on our promise there. And again, congratulations to the Guardians for your continued work for our community. You continue to prove that that the work is going right exactly where it's needed. And so thank you for all the time and energy to donating to those who need it the most. And I'll end with saying that I have once again donated a name for one of those snow plows. I won't tell you which name I gave you because I don't want to be biased, but I better be chosen this time. Thanks all.
Councillor Hutt?
Yes, it's good to be back. I want to thank those who came out for public comment. It was very, very positive public comment, which was very nice to hear as a counselor. I also want to thank the Westy Dog Park Guardians for the work that they did in raising so much dog food. And then I also want to thank Councilor Azadi for heading up the food drive and being able to feed so many people. I think that's wonderful. I do have a quick question about the graffiti on private fences. Do we have some sort of program or some way to help, because there's a cost associated, and I think it's unfair, especially with how hard of a time so many people are having right now. Is there a way that we're able to help them with the cost of repairing their property when it's has graffiti? Is that something we offer?
Thank you for the question, Councillor. We do have a graffiti staff, and we report graffiti incidents through, and the mayor is a great spokesperson for the police app, our Westminster police app. So you report it on private property, and then the police will deal with it. We have staff in place to come out and have a look at it and first identify, if they can, who's doing their graffiti, and that helps in the long term with preventing future actions, and then we'll assist in how to get that graffiti removed. So
okay.
I can follow up and provide more information after this meeting to all of City Council, and then that can be shared again with the public.
I just want to make sure when that happens, it's not causing a financial burden to the folks that happen to. And then I did attend a CML effective government training. It was an all-day training. It was really, really good. I wish that it was offered when I had first onboarded onto council. It was, I've been on council for almost a year, and there was so much to learn. And so that was really, really great. So I just wanted to mention that. And then I went with the mayor to NLC, the National League of Cities in Tampa, and I learned a lot and had a really great time. It was nice to be in 80-degree weather for a few days. But a couple of the things that I found most exciting when I was there was learning about how cities are using AI. And it's, I think that technology is developing so quickly. I think it would be really neat if our city was on the cutting edge of some of that, even for things like making sure that our lights are running more smoothly, even things with the police department, like seeing where pockets of crime are. There's so many ways of using AI that I hadn't even thought of that can help a city just run a little bit more smoothly. And then I got to visit the water treatment plant in Tampa. And so that was very interesting to see how they are protecting their water. They are using a new technology that I found really interesting. It's called SIX, S-I-X, and that stands for Suspended Ion Exchange. And so they are environmentally friendly resin beads that have non-harmful ions that switch with harmful ions that are in the water. So they pull out organic material that typically would go through a filter. And so they're using half the amount of filters. There is a little bit of a cost to implement it, but now that it's implemented, they're going to be saving $50 million a year just in filters. So they're saving a significant amount of money with this new technology. And so I thought that was very, very interesting. So I wrote up a big thing about it and sent it to council. It might not be right for Westminster, but it might be, and if there's a way that we can save money with our water treatment plant, that's great, because that's a savings we can pass on. So, I mean, no promises made. Obviously, we'd have to see if it's right for us, but I just found it to be very, very interesting and really cool technology. And then I want to give the mayor a very special thank you. So I have a health condition, and when I was in Tampa on Wednesday, of course, that's when it decided to act up, and I was in really, really bad shape. And the mayor was really there for me. She got me to the ER. She stayed with me the whole time. And anybody who's spent time with the mayor knows that she can have that comforting mom energy. And I just really wanted to publicly thank the mayor, because being in a strange place that I've never been and being so sick, having her really meant a lot. So I just wanted to publicly thank you and let everybody know what an amazing mayor we have, aside from the work she does for us. I just wanted to give her a special thank you. But thank you, everybody, and look forward to finishing out a good year. And I know we have more work to do next year, and so I'm just looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
As I told Councillor Hott, where she kept saying thank you for being with her, they were so busy. Her bed was outside in the hallway the whole time. Took them 2 hours to find me a chair. And what I learned that week was, don't just have a bagel for breakfast, because we didn't eat until 7 or 8 o'clock that night. And I didn't have water with me. Didn't even have my knitting with me. So that was tough for me, but she was in tough shape. So when she kept saying, I'm so glad you stayed with me. And I said, look, we are in a foreign land here, and we're family, so I would never have left anybody. So I'm just glad you're up and about. Sorry that you caught a bug in between, but you're looking good. I just want to say, too, thanks to Councillor Azadi and the Guardians. Sometimes people want to give, but they don't know how to or where to. And so giving them the opportunities that you did, and I love seeing all the pictures. I would have been there, but I was teaching an embroidery software class until noon, and then had a date for the disc golf course looking into right afterwards. But thanks for giving all the pictures, because all the furry friends, pugs wouldn't have done anything but come and bark at everybody. So I am grateful that it was such a good turnout. The Highland Hills Foundation dinner was great, and Councillor Ireland was there too, with Councillor Carmelia and I, and it was just a fun night, and it was really to the point. It didn't drag on. It was great. They had a huge silent auction, and I got a few more stocking stuffers, so I'm just about done with Christmas stuff. And on Thursday, I had Jeffco Mayor's Lunch. We do that every other month, and I meet also with the Metro or the Adams County mayors monthly. But those are always great times because we can, who else do you talk to that deals with what you deal with? And so we just go around and sort of make it a therapy session. So, and what's said there stays there, but it's been great friendships there. So, anything else? If not, we'll move to the consent agenda, and do we have a motion? Mayor Pro Tem?
I move to approve the consent agenda items A through F and H through N.
Councilor Dumont?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve items 8A through F and H through N. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councillor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councillor Dumont.
Yes.
Councillor Azadi.
Yes.
Councillor Hott.
Yes.
Mayor McNally.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nurmela.
Yes.
And Councillor Ireland.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
Councillor, City Manager Andrews, would you like to have someone answer the questions that Councillor Ireland had?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Ireland, for the question regarding item G. I have Paul Knippel, Director of Public Works and Utilities, and joined by Joe Merzinski, our Operations Manager in Public Works and Utilities, to answer questions regarding the gasoline and diesel purchase contracts.
Yes, thank you for the questions, Councillor Ireland. This is Paul Knippel, Director of Public Works and Utilities. I'll continue. I'm sorry for the stutter. We're just making sure can you?
I don't think it's on.
The microphone is working. It's just, it's the speaker that is not. So as long as you can hear him, we're okay.
Use your loud teacher voice.
Yes. So Councillor Ireland's questions had to do with pricing and then the bidding process. And so I'll address the pricing questions that were brought up, and then I'll turn it over to Joe Merzinski, our Division Manager for Operations, who can address the bidding process that we went through. So the $1.6 million that's in the agenda item is a not to exceed amount. It's a placeholder. The action tonight is to authorize the city manager to enter into a fuel purchase contract not to exceed that amount. The actual the quotes that we received for the dollar per gallon for unleaded gasoline and for diesel are included in the agenda packet in the agreement. There's an appendix, and those prices that were quoted back in October range from around $2.30 a gallon to $2.79 a gallon, depending on how the fuel is delivered and what type it is. If this item moves forward tonight, and we receive the spending authorization, then we will receive a firm fixed price on fuel that will be based on today's market, not what the market was in October. So we'll get the best deal that we can under the current conditions if and when this item moves forward. So that's where we are on that one. I'll turn it over to Joe to address how the item was bid.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. My name is Joe Merzinski. I'm the Operations Manager in Public Works and Utilities with responsibilities over fleet, facilities, and street operations. Earlier this year, we did extensive research, analysis, and discovery, and we compared two pricing methods, one with the incumbent vendor, which is Synergy Petroleum, and one with Mansfield Oil of Gainesville. Mansfield Oil of Gainesville has a cooperative purchase agreement for a Sourcewell contract. During our discovery, we reached out to two of the main contract holders here in Colorado, RTD and RFTA. Spoke directly with the CFO of RFTA and the procurement manager for RTD. To put it in some perspective, RTD runs through about 6.5 million gallons of diesel and about 250,000 gallons of unleaded. During those discussions, we felt that Mansfield would be the right vendor for us. Comparative pricing between the quote from Synergy Petroleum and Mansfield, we expect to realize a price difference of anywhere from 6 cents a gallon up to 40 cents a gallon, depending on the fuel type and the delivery method. We anticipate saving upwards of $80,000 to $100,000 using Mansfield oil of Gainesville as opposed to petroleum or Synergy Petroleum. And that's how the decision was made to choose Mansfield as our vendor for 2025 to supply bulk fuel, both unleaded and diesel, to the city of Westminster.
Any questions?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being thorough with it. And it sounds like we're getting a pretty good price, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor, I can honestly say we did more work this year going into 2025 than we have historically. So I'm really proud of the work that the staff has done.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Councilor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to authorize the city manager to execute a participating addendum agreement for 2025 unleaded gasoline and diesel fuel purchase with Mansfield Oil Company of Gainesville, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,600,000 based on the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchase Contract Supply and Delivery of Fuel and Fuel-Related Services.
Councilor Azadi?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass item 8G1. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilor Demott?
Yes.
Councilor Azadi?
Yes.
Councilor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nermella?
Yes.
Councilor Ireland?
Yes.
And Councilor Carmelia?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
That brings us to item 11, new business, and there's a Councilor's Bill number 41. Councilor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move contingent upon the Westminster Economic Development Authority Board's approval of resolution number 237 to pass Councilor Bill number 41 on first reading, appropriating of the transfer from WEDA and the amount of $7,100,400 to the 2024 General Capital Improvement Fund for the North Huron URA West 142nd Avenue and Orchard Parkway Traffic Signal Project, the North Huron URA Asphalt and Concrete Project, the North Huron URA Traffic Signal Equipment and UPS Updates Project, and the North Huron URA Signal Corrosion Control Project.
Councilor Azadi?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 41. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I just want to say that I'm sorry that I've caused confusion last time. I was confused about where it was, and I don't think there's much traffic at that place right now, but I'm sure with future development it'll be more. So thank you.
I think this was based on accidents, correct? There's been a lot of accidents over there. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilor Azadi?
Yes.
Councilor Hott?
Yes.
Mayor McNally?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nermella?
Yes.
Councilor Ireland?
Yes.
Councilor Carmelia?
Yes.
And Councilor Demott?
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
That brings us to Councilor's Bill number 42. Councilor Demott?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to pass Councilor Bill number 42 on first reading to amend Title 14 of the Westminster Municipal Code related to Employee 401A Defined Contribution Plan.
Councilor Azadi?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pass Councilor's Bill number 42. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to say that I think the match program in our city is way out of line. I'm looking up private sector. If you get 6% match, it's huge. 7 is even unheard of, and we're up to 12. So I would be voting no on this. I think it's totally out of line. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor or Mayor Pro Tem?
City Manager Andrews, can you clarify why ours is structured or how it's structured differently than what you might see in the private sector and even other government agencies?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Mayor Pro Tem, and the observation, Councilor Ireland. We do have Davey Godfrey, Director of Human Resources, can come up and answer. I think one of the key differences between the city and many private sector employees is employers is we don't have Social Security here. And so when we actually have a comparison in the sector, even with this recommended increase today, we're still not at par with our competitors. But this is a step in the right direction. And so it wouldn't be apples to compare us with a private sector employer who does provide Social Security benefits.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councillor Hott.
Yes.
Mayor McNally.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Nermella.
Yes.
Councillor Ireland.
No.
Councillor Carmelia.
Yes.
Councillor Demott.
Yes.
And Councillor Azadi.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 6-1 vote.
I understand we have reason for a city council executive session after the WIDA board meeting. City Attorney Frankel, can you read the title into the record, and I will poll everyone to see if they're willing to go into executive session after the WIDA board meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's executive session that is on the agenda is to consult with the city attorney on legal issues involving the deed for the Woman Creek parcel pursuant to Westminster Municipal Code 1113C3 and Colorado Revised Statute 246402-4B.
I will start with Councillor Azadi, and if you're willing to go into executive session.
Obi, is that a yes?
Claire Carmelia, yes.
Dave Demott, yes.
Nancy McNally, yes.
Sarah Nermella, yes.
Amber Hott, yes.
Councillor Ireland?
Yes.
It is now 7:57 and the city council meeting is adjourned. We will now reconvene as the WIDA board. We'll incorporate the roll call from the previous meeting, and do we have a motion for minutes of the November 18th meeting? Councillor Demott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the minutes of the November 18th, 2024 meeting as presented.
Councillor Azadi?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of November 18th, 2024. Is there any further discussion? Councillor Azadi?
No, ma'am.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to public hearing of Resolution 237. I will open that public hearing, and do we have any staff report?
No presentation this evening, Mayor.
Do we have anybody signed up?
We have no one signed up.
Okay. It's 7:58. I will close the public hearing, and do we have a motion for resolution number 237? Councillor Demott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to adopt resolution number 237, authorizing a supplemental appropriation for the 2024 Westminster Economic Development Budget in the amount of $7,100,400 for improvements within the North Huron Urban Renewal Area boundaries for the West 142nd Avenue and Orchard Parkway Traffic Signal Project, the North Huron URA Asphalt and Concrete Project, the North Huron URA Traffic Signal Equipment and UPS Updates Project, and the North Huron URA Signal Corrosion Control Project.
Councillor Carmelia?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 237. And is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Board Member Carmelia.
Yes.
Board Member Demott.
Yes.
Board Member Azadi.
Yes.
Board Member Hott.
Yes.
Chairperson McNally.
Yes.
Vice Chair Nermella.
Yes.
And Board Member Ireland.
Yes.
The motion passes on a 7-0 vote.
It is now 7:59 and the WIDA meeting is adjourned. The City Council will now meet in executive session with a short break in between.